When you think about the physical complexity that goes into everyday activities, the way our bodies function is really quite amazing. One of the most amazing things is the way we deal with stressors, those influences that would overwhelm us and rob us of our health if they go unchecked. You've probably heard someone say, "I'm so stressed." Technically, that's not stress. It's anxiety or nervous tension. Stress is actually the body's response to any stressor. A stressor may take the form of bacteria or viruses, or it may be a traumatic experience or an injury. All these things will have an impact, and all of them require some type of accommodation. The body accommodates stressors with a response called stress. That's right. Stress comes from inside the body. Homeostasis is the position of balance where we experience our optimum health and function most comfortably. Every day, your body is impacted by stressors. Each stressor pushes you away from homeostasis and forces your body to react. If the stressor goes unchecked, it will overwhelm your body and cause serious problems. Fortunately, your body has ways to deal with the stressor. It pushes back. The pushback mechanism is stress, and it comes in two forms. The first form of stress is called catatoxic. Catatoxic stress is anything the body does to fight the stressor directly. For example, if the stressor is bacteria, the body will go to work fighting and destroying the bacteria. One catatoxic stress response is an increase in temperature, a fever. Higher temperature creates an environment that is hostile to the bacteria. However, if the fever, the catatoxic stress response, goes unchecked, it can cause more problems than the stressor. To prevent the body from damaging itself with its own defense mechanisms, it uses the second form of stress called syntoxic stress. The primary purpose for syntoxic stress is to moderate the catatoxic reaction. It acts as a control, making sure that nothing gets out of hand before the stressor is contained. 5 minutes ago, you may not have agreed that stress is your friend, but now you understand that it protects you every hour of every day. Let's examine some of the specific ways that a breakdown in the stress model impacts your health. We'll look at a pair of real-life examples, Heidi and Pete. Heidi is bright, ambitious, and somewhat overworked with her employment, school, and an active social life. She routinely deals with a number of stressors. When her mild depression starts to build, she goes for a walk, which helps her relax. Finances bring added burden when just before payday she finds herself over budget and worried about money. Autumn brings on seasonal allergies that put additional strain on her body. A little extra sleep would help her, but this week she has deadlines, so sleep decreases instead. In all likelihood, Heidi will ride out the week and get back on her feet soon enough, but her body is working hard to maintain homeostasis, and she is therefore more susceptible to illness. Unfortunately for Heidi, she associates with friends who have the flu, and in her weakened state, she catches cold. This makes everything worse. She feels more depressed, she worries more about money, and her allergies create more grief. The stressors are overwhelming Heidi's ability to push back. She needs additional support and decides to get help from her health professional, Dr. Vogel. What does Heidi's body need most right now? Better nutrition, immune support, a massage, homeopathic remedies, or maybe a prescription medication? There's no one-size-fits-all answer for this question. In fact, the best answer for an individual can change week by week.
I think the real issue is that every patient is an individual, and it's very difficult for the practitioner to customize their remedies for them in a general way. And the ZYTO instrument and from LSA enables us to do that perfectly. Every single patient is treated as an individual, and the ZYTO is able to basically dissect out the exact weaknesses and strengths of every patient and to match them with the remedy that seems to heal them from within.
Dr. Vogel's objective is to provide the best possible care for Heidi, which includes finding what therapy will best support her body's struggle against all her stressors. Let's meet Pete for another common example of the relationship between stress and illness. Pete has always struggled with diets and exercise to keep the weight off. He renews his commitment to eat better and exercise more every few months, but he tires quickly, never sees the results he hopes for, and soon gives up. He accepts his weight and low energy as a fact of life and shrugs them off with a bit of humor. What Pete doesn't know is that diet and exercise are not the only factors involved in energy levels and weight. In Pete's case, during his military service, he was exposed to viral and chemical agents. These stressors created illness at the time of exposure, but soon he was back on top of his game. However, in those cases where the stressor is too strong for the body to entirely eliminate, the syntoxic mechanism will allow a residual level of stressor to remain for long periods of time. These residual stressors can build up and create an extra burden. In Pete's case, his past exposure created a lingering effect. He is teetering between health and illness, but the only indication of this is his weight and some mild fatigue. What this means to Pete is that his body needs support, specific and comprehensive. He needs enough of his stressors dealt with to allow his body to regain and maintain homeostasis.
I have seen over the last several years that people are sicker and sicker, and I think it's a combination of reasons why that's true, but nonetheless they're much more difficult to treat, and that's another reason why I like the LSA, because they are so difficult. I have to look at a lot more things, and I can do that within the time.
The concepts in these examples hold true for all diseases and illnesses. Cancer, pneumonia, even the ability to sleep soundly or recover from a broken bone. When the body is pushed beyond its ability to stress back, it needs individualized support. Back in the 1930s, it was discovered that the body's largest organ, the skin, is electrically conductive. This conductivity will change when the body is exposed to different stressors. This change in conductivity is known as galvanic skin response, or GSR. ZYTO's patent-pending biocommunication system monitors GSR and sends the measured responses to a computer where proprietary software interprets the data and decodes your body's responses. By sending data that is representative of actual stressors to the hand cradle and measuring your body's response, we are able to have a virtual conversation with your body.
Why would one want to give a patient a remedy or an antibiotic or an antihypertensive that didn't work the first time around? Here we can nail down exactly what's good for you and what's going to be biologically effective from the outset. And this to me is an enormous biological advantage for the patient, and we're saving time and money and morbidity.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you've learned valuable insights that will improve your understanding of your amazing body and help you make the most of your health and your life.